Okay, so the case I'll be talking about next is the case number 3 with the two dads and their 2-year-old child. So the first thing that they asked is about, what do I do for toilet training? Like, how do I train my child? So the first thing I want to talk to them about is know when their child is showing signs that they are ready to use the toilet. So these things can include keeping a diaper dry for more than 2 hours. They can show interest in the potty. They know when they have to go to the bathroom is another very important thing. And can they get to the potty? Obviously if they have restricted movements or, they still haven't quite got to the walking stage yet. So obviously they can't go to the bathroom by themselves. And are they able to pull down their underwear or their training pants? So these are the things I'm going to tell them to look for. Hey, like, this is a good indication that your child is ready for toilet training. So when we get past that, we can, after they show interest, we can start engaging more and talking more about the potty. So we can start by reading them a book about going to the potty. We can show them ourselves how to use the potty and explain everything, sitting down, pulling down the pants, knowing that I have to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to go to the potty. So you're going to show them and explain them what to do. You're also going to get them a potty seat because the toilet seat itself is too big for a little child. So you can either get a training potty that sits right next to the potty, or you can get one that goes on top of the potty, but making sure that they have a stepping stool so they can get up onto the potty. So we're also going to, like I said, practice with them a couple times a day. Even if they don't have to go, just making a routine out of it, showing them like, hey, this is what we do when we have to go to the potty. And then we're going to reward them after they go to the bathroom. So this could be like a new pair of underwear, because we have to tell them, hey, like, we can't get you another new pair of underwear because you keep dirtying these ones. So another thing to instill is using the potty after meals. So about 15-30 minutes, we'll just take them to the bathroom and we'll have them sit on the potty. And, we have to tell them, hey, like, this is what we have to do when we have to use the bathroom. But another thing that I would mention is you should never punish your child for having an accident. We should help them clean up, and we should tell them this is where we go to the bathroom. But I just want to ensure that they know this can take months to achieve successful potty training. So it's going to take a little while, but practice makes perfect. And then they were concerned about the terrible twos. Everyone talks about how the terrible twos are the worst time for like a little baby, a little child growing up. So the first thing I want to talk to them about is understanding their developmental age. So this child is just now starting to walk and talk. They have opinions of their own now. And they're learning about themselves. Like, they're just discovering emotions, like wondering why they're mad right now. Why are they crying right now? Why do they feel upset? So these are things that they're just now discovering. They're just starting to find out about who they are and themselves. So I want to tell them that child's having temper tantrums are normal. And that's because they haven't quite yet developed the emotional and communication skills that they need to express their emotions, because they're still learning about themselves and figuring themselves out. So sometimes they have that saying where it's just like, words just can't describe kind of thing. And that's kind of how they feel a lot of the time, because they haven't got to that developmental stage where they can distinguish on their own and talk about their own feelings. And so that's what leads into temper tantrums and them saying no. Because since this child is just now learning new skills and new abilities, they want to become more independent because they think that they can do it. I'm a big kid now. So how we're gonna manage that is we're gonna stick to like a regular schedule with meals and sleep. So if the child doesn't want to eat, then we have to tell them that, hey, this is lunchtime, this is when we eat lunch, or this is bedtime, this is when we go to bed. So keeping a regular schedule will help diminish some of that tantrum opposition from the child by keeping a regular schedule, so that they know, hey, lunch is coming up, dinner's coming up, or oh, it's almost my bedtime. And then maybe just reminding them beforehand, or beforehand, when breakfast is going to be ready or when lunch is going to be ready. So another thing we're going to do is we're going to praise the behaviors that we approve. So whether that's not throwing a tantrum, or when it's eating time, or crossing the street, holding hands, that kind of thing. And we're gonna just ignore the ones that we don't approve, so the behaviors. So sometimes when they're throwing a temper tantrum, just not acknowledging that they want that candy bar at the grocery store. And, we just don't approve of that, so we're not gonna acknowledge, we're not gonna feed into their emotion. Another thing is we don't wanna spank or hit or yell at our child, because they're learning, they're developing and growing. So you want to mold and model the environment of how you want it to be. So if you want a respectful, like I said, spank free, so no yelling or hitting. Just like I said, you want to model after the behaviors you want. So you also want to, going back to the rules, you want to keep them simple, with like a brief explanation. So I had mentioned the crossing the street. So, your child may have never had a issue with holding your hand crossing the street. But if they all of a sudden say, no, like, I don't want to hold your hand, I can do this. Well, then we need to have a simple rule saying, yes, you have to hold my hand when crossing the street, and then give a simple explanation as to why. Because we don't want you to get injured, get hit by a car. We don't want the car to hurt you. So we're here to protect you and help you and see you across the way of life in general. So when you begin to realize when your child's going to start having a temper tantrum, there's good evidence in showing that distracting the child, or giving them something else to think about, because they have a very short attention span. So if you distract them by telling a funny joke or looking at something funny, that can get their mind away instantly from what's causing them to be so dramatic. So back to the modeling portion. So the no yelling, no spanking. You want to reciprocate. So you want to stay calm when the child is throwing a temper tantrum. You don't, like I said, want to feed into that. So staying calm and keeping your composure, and leading by example. You also want to let the child make their own decisions as well. Now, when I say that, I mean give them choices. So it's not a yes or no, like, do you want your medication? Because you have to take it kind of thing. Like, you want to give them a choice. Like, how do you want your medication? Would you rather have this or this for lunch? Or would you rather have this or this for dinner kind of thing? So giving them choices that makes them feel more independent. And you also want to encourage the parents that, yes, they're called the terrible twos, but they're called the terrible twos for a reason. It's not going to last forever, and that they can get through this. So these are some of the things that I would educate and teach the parents on for their 2-year-old child.